What is going on, guys? Today we are dropping an absolute bombshell of information on this video. We're going to be comparing every single assault rifle in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to see which one is the best one. We're going to do this by comparing the statistics that are shown in-game. We're going to look at the base recoil pattern with no attachments on every single gun. And finally, we are going to look at the time it takes to kill at different distances between 0 meters and 70 meters of each assault rifle. I'm really excited to be sharing all this information with you guys, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, and for you guys that don't know where you can get this kind of information, if you go to Creator Class, you go to one of your classes, you go to the Gunsmith, and you go to any attachment that is not your optical, and then you hit the right trigger will bring up the details, and this, as you can see, this is where I got all of the base stats for every gun. Alright guys, let's get right into it. So first we have the XM4 here. You can see that I have a lot of the stats down here on this left side. Starting with firepower, so let's go through each one just so you guys know kind of what everything means. Damage, this is going to be per shot damage on enemies. The effective damage range, it means that it's going to take a certain amount of bullets, in this case 5 to kill enemies, and then after 45.72 meters it's going to take an additional bullet, and from what I've seen up to 70 meters, pretty much from here on out, it's only going to take one additional bullet. So for you guys already thinking about attachments and stuff like that, if you boost the effective damage range, you're effectively saving yourself one additional bullet that you have to hit on target to get that elimination. And from what I've seen, the attachments on effective damage range, I'm probably going to do a video breaking down specifically focusing on damage range to see kind of like how far this extends to. And this is going to be more important in Warzone and things like that, but 70 meters is really long for the current maps that we have. So then fire rate, this is going to be in rounds per minute. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Bullet velocity, I know JGod has a detailed video about bullet velocity and what it means. Basically, it's how quickly the bullet travels before it hits the target. We don't have instant target hitting. There's a better word for it, but you guys kind of know what I mean. Then vehicle damage is going to be damage per bullet against vehicles. Melee quickness, how fast you can get the butt of the gun up and hit somebody. Movement speed is going to be, I'm not really sure, like these are the same, they have been for all the guns. I'm pretty sure that this is just the sprinting movement speed and how fast you go while you're sprinting. Shooting movement speed is going to be how quickly you can strafe from left to right whenever you're shooting. The sprint to fire time is how quickly you can fire off a round after sprinting. I believe from the hip. I'm not for sure certain on that one. The aim walking movement speed, this is going to be how quickly you're going to move from side to side when aiming. The aim down sight speed is going to be how quickly, how long it takes for you to aim down sight. Here we have accuracy. So the closer it is to 0, the more centered your bullets are going to be. And every gun has a different recoil pattern. We're going to get into that as well in this video. Centering speed is going to be like, it's going to be kind of like idle sway. Whenever you're quickly aim down sight and you move your thumbstick from left to right, if you notice, it'll take a second to recenter exactly on the iron sight. This is kind of like drag scoping. This is more important to snipers than it is assault rifles. Same with idle sway control, flinch. There's pretty much no flinch in this game anyway. I'm going to make a video on that too probably. I know there's a bunch of them out. Hip fire accuracy, magazine ammo capacity, how many rounds per magazine, how quickly it takes to reload here, the max starting ammo, and then if you have scavenger or you're playing Warzone and you pick up ammo, this is how many bullets that you can carry in total. Reveal distance, I think this is like kind of bonus additional to like what the already reveal distance is, because I know you can attach flashlights in this game now. So the main takeaway from this individual breakdown here is that you can see that it's the 5 shot to kill if you hit in the upper chest. all the way down to, like I said, 45 meters. And then after that, it takes 6 shots. Up to 70 meters is what I tested, but I'm pretty sure it's like nearly infinite. And then here on the right side, we have the time to kill calculated. If we go ahead and click on this, you can see how it was calculated. It's going to be the shots to kill divided by the rounds per minute times 60, convert the minute to seconds. And then I added in the standing aim down sight speed as well, divided that by 1,000, so that's converted from milliseconds to seconds. And here we have, it takes about 0.7 seconds, and that increased to about 0.8 seconds. You can see here's a graph over distance on time to kill right here. And an important thing to note is that it's a 12% increase to time to kill at 50 meters for the XM4. So then if we scroll over a little bit more, I'm going to try and zoom this picture out. I had it pretty zoomed in just for you guys like viewing on your phone. I know things might be kind of hard to see. As you can see, the XM4 has a very nice recoil pattern. This is very easy to control, especially like this is probably going to be like your first kill down here when you start firing. And it's pretty much straight up. That's very easy to control. It gets a little difficult here, but you can see this is a pretty good cluster. I'm going to have a size comparison proof in a later tab, but this arrow is actually about the size of a person. So you can see that this cluster up here isn't really that big of a deal, even though it sways right a little bit. All right, let's check out the AK47. So here again, all the stats on the left-hand side. You can pause or slow down the video or check for yourself like I told you earlier in this video. The important thing here is that the AK is really powerful. You can see that, I don't know why that got highlighted, but anyway, you can see that it's 4 shots to kill upper chest all the way to 35 meters, which doesn't have a great effective damage range, only 38 meters, and it has a pretty slow firing rate at 600 rounds per minute as well. So this is going to punish players who aren't going to be as accurate with this gun. So, but as you can see, it has a fairly large drop off at about 35 meters to 40 plus, and it's going to increase your time to kill by 14%. Another note that the values of time to kill on this left side are in reverse order, meaning that as you go down, you're going to increase your time to kill. So it's going to take longer to kill enemies. So if we zoom out again and look at this recoil pattern, you can see here that it's not as clean as the XM4, but it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be for an AK. I don't like these bow-shaped recoil patterns on any of the guns. I think that your horizontal recoil control is going to be, a lot harder to control because you're not simply just moving down on your mouse or your thumbstick if you're playing on a controller. So this is going to be a little bit harder control, but not too terrible consider like how powerful this gun is. So next off, we are going to look at the Krig. I know this is one of the favorite assault rifles of many people. I personally don't like it, but I know a lot of people do. All right, so again, important thing to see here is that it is 5 shots to kill upper chest all the way up to 50 meters, and then after that, it goes down to 6. And here the time to kill versus distance graph again, a 12% increase to time to kill at 55 meters, which is the same for the XM4. And here is the recoil pattern. I was a little surprised by this recoil pattern. I know statistically, this is one of the easier guns that's supposed to be very accurate. It's supposed to be kind of similar to like the M13, I think. And as you can see, like, especially as horizontal is very close to 0, yet we have this strange recoil pattern. Another quick note that it is a negative value. This means that it's going to start left from what I've seen. All right, let's move on to the QBZ. I don't have a lot of experience using this gun, but it's one of the ones that I really want to start using, especially after this video, and you'll see why. So as you can see, 5 shots to kill all the way to 45 meters, and then this is going to change to 6. up through 70 like we've seen. 12% increase the time to kill at 55 meters, so that's a better effective damage range than the other assault rifles that we've seen as far as the base attachments go. And then you have, let's zoom out so we can get to the recoil pattern. Zoom out some more, the picture's a little bigger. It's very similar to the XM4 recoil pattern, except this one goes to the left. So what I've seen so far is that these guns are very similar. It's just going to be one of those things. It's personal preference. Kind of like in Modern Warfare. I believe the M4 Modern Warfare kicked to the right and the Kilo kicked to the left. And that was one of the kind of personal preference things that happened with those two assault rifles in that game. So let's look at the FFAR. This was the meta assault rifle. A lot of people complained on it, and there was a nerf to this recently. This is the post-patch FFAR in Black Ops Cold War. So as you can see, it's a 6-shot kill up to only 25 meters. And the damage range was significantly reduced in the patch, in the nerf. And then it's going to be 7-shot at 70 meters. I know the 6-shot, 7-shot is going to turn a lot of people off because it's a weaker assault rifle, but it has an insane fire rate of 909 rounds per minute, making it still a pretty viable gun. And only a 9% increase to time to kill at 30 meters. That's because of its fire rate, because of how well the fire rate is. So with that, if you add an attachment to boost the effective damage range, you can still make this gun very viable. Probably also going to need extended mags just because of the 25 round ammo capacity. The main issue with this gun post-patch is going to be this awful recoil pattern. It goes, you see like no gun went this high up and bowed out to the right this much. I don't have much to say else about that. That is just a terrible recoil pattern. So let's go ahead and look at the statistical comparison of every assault rifle. So as you can see here at firepower right away, you can see that the Krig and the M4 are kind of the middle of the road, and the QBZ are kind of the middle of the road as far as firepower go. FFAR1 with the weakest firepower, except for its fire rate and bullet velocity being comparable to the Krig and the QBZ. And then the AK, with outside of its very high damage, one of the worser firepower assault rifles, just because of its low bullet velocity and low fire rate. If we look at speed, the other 4 assault rifles are about the same, but the QBZ-83 is actually the fastest assault rifle as far as movement goes. So you're going to be able to slide around the map, aim down sight very quickly, and move very quickly around the map. Kind of like a hybrid SMG, if you would say. As far as accuracy goes, I know we looked at the recoil patterns. Coming up in the next tab, we're going to be going through a comparison of all the recoil patterns. As you can see here, the M4, the Krig, and the QBZ have the best accuracy. The Krig statistically by far, but I think you might change your mind if you look at the recoil pattern next time, in the next tab. So here we have ammo. Most of the assault rifles are pretty much the same. The Krig and the QBZ reload a little bit faster than the XM and the AK47. The FFAR only comes with a 25 round magazine and reloads, but it reloads a lot faster, and you get an additional 10 rounds starting off. So you get 4 magazines instead of 3 in the FFAR compared to the other assault rifles. So let's take a look at the recoil pattern. So here's the size comparison I was talking about. This is kind of what I did to make the recoil pattern. I stood 15 meters away from a wall on the map with the plane in it, next to the this arrow here, so you can see kind of like a clear size comparison. So if you look at the size of a person here and the size of the arrow here, you can see that they're about the same size. So if you can just kind of like imagine this, kind of like the tip of the arrow is probably going to be like either the upper leg or kind of the midsection here, and then this top of the arrow is probably going to represent like a headshot if you were to aim in that low and not do any sort of recoil control in your gun. So the XM4, like I said before, very easy to control recoil, especially these first a few shots right here in this cluster. This is probably going to be the most important cluster because that's going to be like your first kill. And then if you were to continue holding down the right trigger, you would end up with this recoil pattern up here, likely going to be like your second kill. Same thing here, but the AK47, like I said, a little bit harder to control with this kind of bow-shaped recoil pattern with a lot of horizontal recoil. So with this gun, I would recommend using those horizontal recoil attachments. And with the Krig, like I said, I was very surprised with the base recoil pattern of the Krig because this is an uglier bow shape than the AK47 even. So that was a bit surprising to me. This makes a little more sense just because for whatever reason, I never personally liked the Krig. And I didn't know why because a lot of people said that like it's better than the XM4 and I was always confused. The QBZ is a gun that I haven't really spent too much time using yet, but you can see it has a very nice recoil pattern. It kicks to the left though, so that's going to be one of those things that's going to be preferenced either against or for the XM4. I don't know if it's a left-handed person thing, if you like things going left or right or what, and how to control them. And like I said before, the FFAR is this god-awful recoil pattern. I know pre-patch, it was this very pretty straight up and down recoil pattern, and it didn't go that far, making it, like I said, the best gun in the game probably before the patch. And I think they nerfed this thing to all hell. I don't know many attachments that can fix this horrible recoil pattern. All right, let's get into the combined time to kill graph. So as you can see here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit to catch the legend. The FFAR dominates this close range distance right here. But because of that terrible recoil pattern, it's probably really only useful from 0 to 15 meters. And with that kind of a distance for an assault rifle, you might as well just use an SMG. I'm going to eventually do a similar analysis to the SMGs like I'm doing here, as well as the tactical rifles and the LMGs. So we'll see how every weapon kind of stacks up to each other as I put more data in here. But like I said, you might as well just use an SMG, which I would imagine would have a time to kill kind of up in this region for this short range. And then, you know, if you looked at the FFAR, like I said, with that horrible recoil pattern, you're not going to hit shots at this range anyway. And this isn't, you know, this is a worse time to kill than, you know, the AK-47, the XM4, and the QBZ. So, and then if you look here, again, I was surprised, the Krig, one of the worst weapons, close range, the best weapon at 50 meters, and then the worst weapon again after that. I'm not a fan of the Krig, and I'm starting to see like why that is. So the QBZ has a, you know, it competes up here. The XM4 and the AK-47 are still better. And then it competes, same thing down here again. The XM4 again, competitive with the AK-47. AK is better. XM4 is ideally between 35 and 45 meters, and then it drops off to here. AK-47, the best gun up close outside the FFAR, but again, that recoil pattern, you can't really do much about that. So I like the AK-47 a lot here. And honestly, you, like I said, you can put an effective damage range attachment, extend this all the way down. And the only thing that's hurting you on the AK-47 is its strange recoil pattern, because it's kind of that, you know, bow shape, like we mentioned. And it's very large drop off in damage range. But like I said, you can fix that in attachments. So what is the verdict of all this? I think that the worst assault rifle is actually the Krig. And I'm not some like Krig hater, like this, you can see for yourself and form your own opinion about like what I've showed you today. But it has the worst long range, it has the worst short range, and it's only good at 50 meters. But like I said, that can be changed with attachments on these other assault rifles up here. I'm not a fan of the Krig. I think it shoots too slow. I think it needs a buff, at least in accuracy, and possibly a small buff in its fire rate. The second worst gun, I think, is the FFAR. It's only good up to 10 meters because it's horrible recoil, and like I said, you might as well be using an SMG. The QBZ-83 and the XM4 are very similar at the third and second best. The QBZ has a slight edge in my opinion because, like I said, it has that very good movement speed, as you can see here. It also has a slightly better, it's actually slightly worse fire rate, but it has a slightly better damage and a slightly better bullet velocity. I think it has a slight edge. I think it's going to come down to which recoil pattern you prefer. I've been using the XM4 a lot lately. I love that gun. I don't have a lot of experience with the QBZ, but after I made this video, I really want to try it out and make a good build for it. With that being said, the meta assault rifle right now is the AK47, but I think there is going to be a nerf coming soon to this gun. If you've probably seen already, if you haven't, I'm not going to make a video over it, but you can probably search. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of TikToks I've seen about a bug in the game that gives the AK a negative recoil with a lot of the later attachments you unlock. So I think that a patch is coming soon just because of this high time to kill, and with a negative recoil pattern that turns this gun into a laser beam. I think that this gun is going to get nerfed pretty soon. And after that, I think it's going to be a toss-up between the QBZ-83 or the XM4. That's going to pretend like your recoil preference, like I've been saying. Like I said, I love the XM4. I think it's a great, reliable gun at pretty much every single distance. I think it can compete short range. I think it can compete long range with effective damage attachments. And like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with QBZ, but I really want to try it out just because of how quick the movement is and how competitive it is in these medium to long ranges. So that concludes my video about which assault rifle I think is the best in Black Ops Cold War. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a like. It took a lot of time to make. And if you want more content like this, there's going to be a lot more content like this, kind of a deep dive analysis coming soon to this channel. So subscribe, turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. And do me a favor and comment down below what was your favorite assault rifle before watching this video, and how you feel about that assault rifle now, and then what assault rifle you want to try to use. And as always, I hope you guys have a really great day, and I hope this video helped you out a lot. Thank you.